G'day YouTube, how the heck are we doing? It is Foul Play here and we're back again for some more modern action. So the deck's been performing pretty well, so there's no real reason to change anything. Just to reiterate, we have gone for only 2 copies of Audacity in favour of 2 copies of Spider Umbra. Previously it was 4 Audacity, but the Totem Armor is just too good into Murktide decks, which try to burn out your creatures. The Totem Armor will remain on the enchantment and does not get applied to the creature, so it still triggers in response to the burn spell. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory main deck really. Rancor and Sentinel's Eyes come back from the grave, so in the event of your board being wiped, Floofy Paws can be very, very strong for you. Sideboard, we've got Burn and Discard Hate, we've got Amulet Hate, we have got Tron and Control Hate, and then with the Chalice and Void Mirrors, we've got Hate against Cascade. Void Mirror also being good against Tron, and the larger Cascade techs such as Calibrated Blast. Last of all, we have one of Pithing Needle as a catch-all that can answer things like Blast Zone, Engineered Explosives, or even a Planeswalker. Alright, so first match here versus a Bombat Courier. We won the draw. Opponent has got a Gigantha Companion. Could be any number of things really. No hexproof creature, so we'll mulligan our hand. Alright, no mana, mulligan again. Opponent's at 6. I guess this is a keep, but all our spells apart from the hexproof creature start at 2 mana, which is pretty frustrating. Ditch. So we're really going to have to hope that we just top deck the second land off the top. This is probably a better keep than most 4-card hands though. Looks like we're versing Tron, so we might be in a lot of trouble here. We do find the land. Probably the best thing we can do is try to race them with Floofy Paws. So let's go ahead and get just about everything we need here. Just tack on in. Opponent has his tower, so I guess we know what they're going to be about for next turn. We get the mana source, which is maybe getting a little bit iffy now. Let's just utilize Floofy Paws as like a way to donate auras onto our Slippery Bogle. So we'll go ahead and get a Rancor here. You can turn 3 kill with Floofy Paws. Should you have 3 enchantments in 3 1-mana enchantments in hand, 3 land on the field, and one of the enchantments in hand is Ethereal Armor. So start off with any other enchantment, search Ethereal Armor, play Ethereal Armor, search Rancor or Audacity, and then any 1-mana auras after that will, with 6 of them, will add up to 20 damage. And it looks like our opponent's got something gross going on. Khan the Great Creator, okay. And 3 mana up here on the tower, so they can just Ensnaring Bridge us out. That's kind of lame. Well, we're not technically dead to that. God, I hate this combination of bullshit. I wouldn't have an issue with Ensnaring Bridge being in the main deck, as it has been in the past quite a bit. But just the fact that our opponent gets to tutor it for it from the sideboard is just a bit gross. Alright, so I'm going to start throwing down extra enchantments to get some value out of Floofy, to thin our deck a little bit. I think we hold Daybreak Coronet in hand for a little bit longer. Opponent with another tower there. Oblivion Stone. Alright, well that's just going to blow up our whole board there. Alright. Tack on in. Alright, in our own step, opponent's blowing up the board. Alright, nope, they're protecting the Ensnaring Bridge, makes sense. So maybe there was like a slight missequence from me. We should have gone for like a Totem Armor effect on Floofy Paws. It's not the end of the world because we have another in hand. And we're probably a loss in this game as well. We'll see if they respond to the Grispoon here. Alright, looks like that resolves, so we can now search up Totem Armor. And there's a Hyena Umbra. This one destroys each non-land permanent without a faint counter on it. Okay. We can still attack for 2. I guess we could have Griff Spooned on the Bogle there. Alright, so we hit them to 7. They're still not like showing anything that wins them the match. Alright, so they pop O-Stone. We can still draw to Psyu. I mean, if there's Big Khan, we just concede, right? 10 mana. Alright, well, that'll do it. That's fine. Anything special on top? Not going to show me. Alright, so this is an example of a Tron deck you could be versing in Modern at the moment. In the main deck, currently running 4 Big Khan, 4 Little Khan, and 2 Ugin. Ugin is really, really horrible for us as well. Creatures of Wormcoil Engine. This opponent had an Ulamog that they just showed us. So maybe they're not running Warping Whale, Dismember, or it's in there for like some of the Khans or Ugins. O-Stone, which is normal. Graveyard Hate, which is normal. Also a flex for Ulamog. 1 Basayu, 3 in the sideboard. Yikes, we could be fighting through some enchantment hate here. Obviously, Engineered Explosives, which can be tutored for as well. Chalice of the Void. That's got to be in there for Cascade, right? Also, Liquid Metal Coating Lock, but we know about all that sort of stuff. Reminder guys, if you do enjoy the video, please consider subscribing for more content like this. So we've actually got a fair bit of stuff in the sideboard, which is good here. Yeah, it's pretty bonkers. We do want to keep in our Floofy Paws because they, at least on the play, they do give us that turn 3 kill. After that, it's probably becoming like a little bit dicey as to what to side out. We might even be overboarding a little bit here. Maybe even like 1 Daybreak is fine, and we still have to trim 3 cards. That's more than I want to be trimming. Let's not bring in Pithing Needle, so we only need 2 more cuts. Yes, at that point it's just a second Audacity and a Sentinel's Eyes, so we'll bring in all this, take out all that. Alright, well, doesn't look like we're getting any Kippable 7s anytime soon. Oh my god. It's pretty much the worst land we could have as well. Alright, we can keep this. It's a bit dicey. Bottom Scout, bottom Floofy. Hope to draw some 1-mana auras in time for turn 3. 1 land and 2 1-mana auras, and we can turn 3 kill. Should note that we've just shuffled our library back in. Those 2 pointless creatures just got shuffled in. Maybe it's better to leave on Basayu, but it does have good interaction with our opponent. So if we start flooding out, I definitely want to leave this in hand. Opponent with Expedition Map. Find Hyena Umbra. Alright, I guess we just play it. Floofy. We're like 1 card short of being able to combo our opponent out. So we would have needed... yeah, 1 more land. We need to hit a white mana source or a green aura. Even then, it's still not a turn 3 kill. Alright, so opponent also plays out beside you. Chromatic Star, 2 left in hand. Cycle the Star, Sphere, pardon me. Plays another Sphere. Alright, so a little bit slower from them. We can Void Mirror to slow them down. They're not going to Tron next turn anyway. Yeah, let's just start going in on Floofy here. So, Ethereal Armor, get... Hyena Umbra, get Ethereal Armor. Attack for 6. Next turn, Ethereal plus Rancor is an extra 8 damage. So it'll be like 14 damage we deal them. They could still interact with our enchantments. They could still dismember our creature. Expedition Map cracked. And we see a Haywire Might. So we see another 1-mana aura. That's a bit lame. Let's keep going in. I think we can put our opponent to 1 here. And we'll force this Haywire Might being traded off. Oh no, we just kill him. Perfect. Alright, well that's the power of Floofy Paws. I guess they could still have like a Force of Vigor or something technically. Oh, they gain 2 life off the trigger. Never mind, they are still in this one. I missed that. Alright, Tron assembled and Khan liberated. Well, if they exile him, we just attack and kill with Glade Cover Scout. So that should be pretty straightforward. Alright, we're just quick enough. That was very fortunate. Going into the game 3, let's take out 1 more Daybreak Coronet, bringing in the Pithing Needle because it has good utility. And yeah, again, we might be overboarding, but there is a lot of good stuff we have against them. Alright, this seems fairly reasonable. I think this is a keep. It could be a little bit slow, but Pithing Needle probably edges it. Opponent miles to 6. Turn 1, Tron land into Star. Well, opponent mod all the way down to 4 cards. Bogles a bit of a dead draw, but maybe it pitches to a Force of Vigor later on. Tron is one of the decks that does mulligan quite well though. Ancient Stirrings. Wow, they found Khan the Great Creator, so do they already have their Tron lands? Or what's the dealio there? Force of Vigor. Interesting, so we now have an answer to bridge. I feel like they might have Natty Tron here. It could be right to just start going in on Pithing Needle and then saving Force for later on. What if they have Big Khan though? Does that change things? We really don't have much aggression in this match. I think because our hand's a little bit slow, maybe if we had an Ethereal Armor as well, we could race. I think we're just gonna go ahead and try to completely blow our opponent out by removing their one relevant creature and hope that's good enough. Planeswalker, not creature. Alright, well there's the there's his tower, Khan liberated, going after the Rancor. So we can take this out, 2 cards in hand, one of which is Khan the Great Creator. Can interact with their mana. I think the main priority is getting this off the table. This is a lot slower than what we want to be in this matchup. Chromatic Star, alright, that's a bit better. Sack for green. Opponent puts Gigantha to hand with the ability there. So that's not nothing. We can fly over the top of Gigantha. We can also interact with their Tron lands. Alright, I guess we're flying over the top and doing this very precarious race here. So upkeep here, we'll go ahead and blow up the tower. Hopefully we don't just like help them into an Ancient Stirrings there. Khan the Great Creator is played out. 1 in hand, attacking for 5. Let's go ahead and crack this one. Dryad Arbor. Any aura, please? Yuck. It's pretty gross. I don't think we care about that Khan. I think we'll just start attacking them. It's probably correct to Bogle. Ethereal Armor won't kill next turn. I think this is fine. So opponent's attacking in 5 on crackback. I mean, we're not dead yet. I think we hold up the 2-turn clock. It's possible they have like a Wormcoil Engine or something. Second main here. Haywire Might. That's a bit lame. Going after our Pithing Needle. Awkward. Well, that Pithing Needle did slow them down several turns, so I still think that was a good decision. Ensnaring Bridge from the opponent. That's fine. We can blow this up during our turn. Another Tron land. Alright, opponent's out of action for now. Land intapped. Alright, so go ahead, blow up this bridge. Take out Khan, attack them here. We go to 1 off Gigantha. And then we've got Daybreak Coronet to stabilize us, so that's kind of nice. So Gigantha putting us to 1. Ethereal Armor off the top would give us the win. Oblivion Stone, that's a pretty good draw off the top, opponent. Doesn't currently have Tron mana, so we really need Force Lethal here. Ethereal Armor, please. not an ethereal armor. I guess it's a way to reload afterwards though, but not the best place to be in. Alright, let's attack for 8, put them to 3. Sacking O-Stone, blowing everything up. If we draw a land, we win. Hyena Umbra does it as well. Beautiful. Alright, well that was a very close one. All our cards played a really good part to scraping through that victory. Let me know in the comment section, was boarding in Void Mirror like a mistake there? Obviously they have some number of forests in deck, Besayu as well. This particular list here runs 3 forests, 1 Besayu. Maybe it's more Besayu post board. But the issue being that plus their Chromatic Star, Chromatic Sphere gives them quite a few outs to hitting coloured mana. So I'm interested to know what you guys think, if Void Mirror is viable or not there. Alright, match number 2 versus Matt MH, and once again a Bogleless hand. Let's go ahead and mulligan this one. Won the die roll at least, that's a good place to start. We'll keep this hand, then we ditch Bogle in the blind to our opponent. Horizon Canopy could be a good card to cycle into a potential Aura. And Tron for the second match in a row. Alright, let's really put this match up to the test here. Fairly aggressive hand here. It'd be nice if it was slightly more aggressive. I think Hyena Umbra goes here. Just off sequencing, if we draw like Floofy Paws, Sentinel's Eyes on Floofy is probably better, and then we have the Totem Armor on the Bogle. So, Sylvan Scrying from the opponent. And Urza's Mine, so it's going to be another turn 3 Khan. How many cards was this off of? 6 from them? No, they kept 7. Guess we just want to be as aggressive as possible. If it's like big fatty Khan, they'll probably destroy Ethereal Armor, in which case we'll have another 4 damage. We're drawing to like exactly Ethereal Armor at that point. So it's actually a Wormcoil Engine. Alright, we can beat Wormcoil Engine. Not what we want to see. Hopefully Griffspoon, one of Griffspoon. Not one of Griffspoon. Alright, well, good news is they didn't have Khan Liberator, or I think they would have played that one. Let's go ahead and get in there. Alright, so not surprisingly, opponent trades off the Wormcoil. They get their tokens. Alright, so now we see Cycle, Chromatic Star, floating some mana. Sylvan Scrying from the opponent? Yeah, okay. I guess that gets Blast Zone. It does. Blast Zone can be activated for 1 as well, triggering Totem Armor. That's not the right time for our opponent to be popping Blast Zone. I guess it doesn't matter which effect we choose there. It's all gone anyway. More action from them? Expedition Map, okay. Attacking him with that one and that one. Alright, well, obviously no blocks from our end. Opponent gains some life, unfortunately. Floofy Paws is a good reset card. Spider Umbra isn't bad either. Alright, let's take our free Aura. I think we... Sentinel's Eyes on the Bogle. Get Hyena Umbra on Floofy. Attack for 2. Alright, so 9 plays 10. So opponent plays the forest before using Expedition Map. This could mean that they have Beside You in hand and they're trying to blow up our creature. I think we can possibly just block with the Bogle here. Look to reset the Sentinel's Eyes across onto our Floofy Paws and kill them next turn on damage. This line is obviously bad against Khan Liberated. I think if they had that card, they would have played it earlier. Alright, so Ancient Stirrings from our opponent now. Khan the Great Creator, so they can play that and Bridge in the same go. That's pretty disgusting. Fuck me, man. Oh, our opponent actually goes for Chalice of the Void, and I guess they're going to play it on 1. It's a very interesting decision. It's pretty good against us, though. I guess we take out Khan. So now we're at mercy of these 2 tokens, putting us to 1 life. Hopefully we draw a 2-mana aura next turn and can defeat our opponent that way. And opponent in. Up to 15 life as well. It's going to be a tough one. Oblivion Stone. Even tougher. So Gigantha to hand 2, cast Gigantha. Alright, I think that's fine. If we can hit like Spirit Mantle, Tutor, Daybreak Coronet, we're in a reasonable position. We just brick. Alright, we'll concede. Alright, so perhaps this is a more updated list for Tron here. You can see the Umalog Ceaseless Hunger, which we saw from our opponent last match. You can also see Cityscape Leveler. Whenever you cast it, destroy up to 1 non-land permanent. Its controller creates a tapped Power Stone token, unearth for 8. Interesting tech there. So obviously there's also cards to worry about from the sideboard. Haywire Might, Explosives, Beside You, Chalice, which we saw our opponent tutor for. I wonder if that means that they're not actually running Ensnaring Bridge. That was a funny choice. Or maybe they just wanted to close off the game. I think it was a risky way to close off the game if that's what they were doing. Alright, so this time let's try not bringing in Void Mirror. We'll bring in the rest of our stuff. It's still 6 cards. It's still a fair chunk of cards that we're bringing in. So weakest auras, All That Glitters, Spirit Mantle, Audacity. After that, again, I think like 1 Daybreak is fine, and then probably Cartouche of Solidarity. Submit that, should be pretty good. God, these hands have been garbage. Our 7s have been absolutely atrocious, and our 6s not better. I think if Messiah was Temple Garden, there's a pretty strong argument to keep this, but unfortunately it doesn't tap for white. I guess we'll keep this. Ditch Spider Umbra, ditch Daybreak Coronet. Look to hit like Runner of Land into Floofy into maybe a turn 3 kill. No, we're 1 card short of having turn 3 kill. Anyway, we'll turn 1 blind the Pithing Needle into, I guess, Expedition Map. Just shut that card off for our opponent, shut off their mana. I'm doing this blind now because the tempo is important later. If I lose because of this, like so be it. I'm playing to win. I'm not playing to get the most value out of Pithing Needle. I think this is very good value regardless. Alright, so turn 1 Chromatic Sphere. Makes sense. We'll see if they draw the other effect. Well, fuck me. Just when we needed it most. There's also an argument to not cracking fetch lands so that we didn't reshuffle the 2 bottoms cards. That wasn't the card drawn anyway, but I think we just want to utilize our mana efficiently because that's the way Bogles operates. Alright, opponent cracking this one. Chromatic Sphere. They brick on land? Plays Blast Zone? Okay. Speaking of bricking, we've got enough 1-mana auras deck. Now, if we could hit Runner on a land so that we can kill our opponent in 1 attack, that would be lovely. This. Alright, so opponent plays our Expedition Map. If they want to activate this, they're actually playing their Expedition Map into their own Blast Zone, which is an interesting line from them. What's this one read? Alright, I think that's good enough value. We'll cash in the Spider Umbra, blow up Sphere and Map. Sphere has to be sacrificed to draw a card. We'll make them sacrifice it during their draw step so they can't utilize the green mana on an Ancient Stirrings or Sylvan Scrying. Alright, so opponent drawing off Chromatic Sphere. This is like delaying them another turn anyway, so I guess it's okay. Opponent plays out beside you. Ancient Stirring. So, I mean, I guess if they had access to that green mana, they could have blown up Pithing Needle. Finds the power plant anyway, so they're going to have Tron mana next turn, and we still haven't played a guy. Alright, well, whatever. Our deck is not doing us any favors at the minute. I'll skip to any relevant card, really. If there's a card liberated, obviously I can't beat that. If they interact with our land, obviously I can't beat that. Alright, cool, that's fine. On to the next one. So that was an example of where we lost to our own deck rather than losing to our opponents. Sure, they could have had Dismember or an answer for Floofy Paws in hand, and it might not have done anything. But obviously, if we can't cast our cards, we're in a lot of trouble, right? Alright, so match number 3. We won the die roll again. That's 3 for 3. Let's hope we're not versing another bloody Tron deck. Alright, whether or not they're like Tron or like a Prowess deck or something is neither here nor there. I guess we keep this 7. It's sadly the only keepable 7 we've had so far out of 7 card hands. So we'll start off with Windswept Heath. We'll go for Temple Garden. And if it is Tron, at least we've got the main deck Hate in hand, which will give us an out against Ensnaring Bridge. Sorry, Wooded Foothills from our opponent, so I guess it might be a Death Shadow deck, or maybe not. Savvy Triome. What is going on? Wish I knew the format better. Oh, this is like a Rhinos deck, right? I guess this is hitting Temple Garden as well. And we're just going for as much aggression as possible. It's not a lot though. So Flooded Strand, or is it just a control deck? What is going on now? Breeding Pool. Alright. Well, we're in an okay spot there, but hopefully... God, these green mana sources have been rubbish this game, haven't they? Hopefully we hit a Daybreak Coronet and that helps us out a little bit. As it is, Spirit Mantle will get in there. This has extra text, doesn't it? When it attacks, loot 1 or exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Alright, so Dryad Arbor, second main. Opponent attacking with Kavu. They choose the loot effect here. I think we can throw away a creature. It should be okay. Ragavan discarded there. Second main, Cracking Wood Foothills. Tribal Flames Face. Okay. Audacity off the top. So we can literally kill our opponent here, only just. It's pretty fortunate. Hit in for the exact right number of damage. Oh wait, is our opponent packing Spell Pierce? Stubborn Denial? It's a shame. At least Bogle has pro creatures, so it can block the Kavu. We might get blown out by a Besayu activation from our opponent, but I guess we'll pretend they don't have that card. Although, looking at this list online, it doesn't seem to run any in the main deck. Action from the opponent during their turn. So, Ragavan for dash. Interesting. Trigger on the Kavu. So 3 cards in hand for our opponent, discarding a land. I think we just have to trade with the Kavu, or is denying the mana more important here? I guess if we deny mana, we're dead to Tribal Flames. Yeah, I guess we just let them have the Ragavan effect. It shouldn't matter as much as land plus Tribal Flames. Opponent finds a creature off the top of our library. Alright, so here we can see a Domain Zoo deck, the 5-Do by PTQ Geodim. This one does run 4 main deck Stubborn Denial, which probably makes this a lot harder for us than what it normally would. Interaction of Dromoka's Command, Leyline of Binding. A really interesting creature suite as well. We saw the Ragavan obviously as well. Maybe potential for Wild Nikadal and Nishobu Brawler. Sideboard hate of more Dromoka's Command, Hijetsugu, and Weartear. Alright, so I have a feeling like this is probably as much as we want to bring in. Probably 3 cards. Whether or not Gadok Teague is worth it or not is up to you guys. It could be another Force of Vigor here. What we want to do is trim out the clunky stuff, I suppose. Maybe Spider Umbra is probably a little bit worse because they don't have like an edict effect. We probably want the aggression and the pseudo evasion there. So let's take out all the glitters and Spider Umbra, and also we want the Spirit Mantle for the same reason. It gives that evasion. Alright, so our opponent keeps 7. We've got this 1 lander, but it is like stacked with some very, very good enchantments and creatures. So I think we're going to keep this one. The upside of like hitting 1 land drop in our first 2 turns is enormous, especially if that land is white. Opponent turn 1 Triome tapped, passing to us. Okay, Daybreak Coronet. Like, this hand is so stacked, we just have to hit our lands. That's all we need to do. Alright, so opponent cracking their Windswept Teeth. Temple Garden in Shocked. I guess this is another Kavu. White mana? Maybe it's the Nishobi Brawler. Alright, it is Brawler. That's okay. Interestingly enough, at the moment our opponent is missing Island, and we get to resolve some very good auras here, so let's go ahead and do that. We don't want to play Floofy into like a Tribal Flames. It's like a lot of tempo lost. The moment we're ahead in this race, and we want to keep it that way. We could get blown out by Force of Vigor here, actually. I don't think it's worth playing the Cartouche out instead of the Ethereal Armor in case of that, though. Alright, down to 11. We should note in the sideboard list that we looked at, the deck we looked at during sideboarding, it did not have Force of Vigor. Alright, so opponent shocks in a Breeding Pool. Their mana base is complete. They have all 5 colors now. Alright, there is a Kavu. It's 10 power on the board. If this attacks us to 14, we're dead to Tribal Flames next turn. I guess there's potential for like a Nature's Claim or a Force of Vigor taking out our Daybreak. Don't think we get to play around it, given the choice. Just assume they don't have it. We could Ethereal Armor Cartouche attack. Sentinel's Eyes is decent too. So Sentinel's Eyes Ethereal Armor is 2, 4, 5. An attack for 10. Opponent's forced into blocking. Daybreak Coronet is an attack for 9. Opponent's forced into blocking. Yeah, I think this is slightly better, although it doesn't gain us life. Although it doesn't leave its dead to double Tribal Flames. Maybe I should have considered that. Yeah. I think I'm being a little loose here. I think Daybreak's the play. It's definitely close. So attack for 12, sorry. I miscounted the damage. Even better. Oh, opponent's got Leyline Binding. That's pretty good. I guess they're going to take away Rancor and Chump Block. It's probably their best line. Yep. Alright. Looks like that's what they're doing. They could take it and go to 1. It's definitely living on the dangerous side, though. Alright, our opponent is playing sensibly and blocking. So in that same position, if we play Daybreak Coronet, our opponent exiles it before we attack. I suppose we can't attack, and we're vulnerable during blocking next turn. So I guess the line we did was the best into Leyline Binding, which is what they were representing. Even if that's not what I articulated, and even if it was shit, I'm like, Alright, so opponent attacking in, they'd need like 2 enchantment interaction spells, which they could have. They could also have double tribal flames afterwards. I think this is fine. If they remove both ethereal armors, that's a pretty big high roll on their end. So it could be Tremoka's command, make us sack the Sentinel's Eyes, and then wear tear the ethereal armor. Or Leyline of Binding the ethereal armor, sorry. Alright, well, we'll sack this one. Oh, this guy gets bigger, doesn't he? Okay. That's fine. I guess they didn't have any other good things to do there. If they fought, right, is the wording on that deals damage equal to their power? Fought would have been a win, right? Anyway, we're just going to go ahead and lay down the rest of our auras and attack for victory. If they had Leyline of Binding, they would have blown us out during combat, so it could be Force of Vigor plus green card. Alright, and that's the win. Very nice. Alright, match 3. We lost the die roll this time. Versing Black Ops. Hand looks very good. We'll keep. Hopefully this is the matchup where we're versing Burn and we just have like Daybreak Coronet plus good mana in hand. Wait, did our opponent... No, we won the die roll. What am I talking about? God, I must be dyslexic or something. Undiagnosed dyslexia. Steam vents. Alright. Well, if this is it Murktide? We're in an okay spot here. If we double Hyena Umbra, it's pretty bad into... God, we could be playing into a Blood Moon here. If we don't play our second Hyena Umbra, that gives us next turn like Floofy Paws plus Hyena Umbra, which is kind of nice. We could Hyena Umbra attack, assume they don't have Blood Moon. That probably runs Daybreak Coronet into a counterspell next turn. I think we're okay playing this slightly slower. Like the Hyena Umbras aren't super aggressive in and of themselves. Alright, so Mishra's Bobble, Hallowed Fountain. So Jeskai currently. Double blue. This has got to be like a Through the Breach combo deck, right? Emery? Yep. Okay, Through the Breach combo. Ragavan, Lightning Bolt. Double Urza Saga to the bin. I'm glad those aren't on the field. That would have been horrible. Mishra's Bobble active was targeting us. Another Daybreak Coronet off the top. I think it's fine to take a turn here to like pretty much guarantee a win next turn rather than Daybreak Coronet and maybe not winning next turn. Let's make our Floofy really, really big. The only point where that's bad is if they have a bounce effect. I'm not sure if they have that main deck. Oh, they don't, but they could Teferi bounce, so I guess that was a little bit loose from me. Apologies, guys. I was thinking of like Petty Theft was not super likely, so let's just try to Mishra's Bobble back with Emery. Connive, but no counter. Spy Bluff Canal. Mishra's Bobble active, targeting us. Bogle off the top. Bogle's sort of a dead draw a little bit. Keep it simple. Get our trample. Attack with both guys. We'll force at least one block here. Is opponent going to go to 1? Looks like our opponent's conserving a bit harder. There's also a one-of Prismatic Ending in this main... No, that's in the sideboard, sorry. That's not in the main deck of this one. Grinding Station from the opponent. Underworld Breach. Look, I guess they've assembled this. I think the combo can still fizzle though. Alright, so this one on the stack. They found their Thassa's Oracle. Are they going to have enough mana to cast everything they need to from their graveyard though? I don't think so. Mish's Bobble. They need to start hitting their Mox Ambers to be able to do that, I think. And already the gas in the graveyard is running out. Underworld Breach, Unholy Heat. Alright, that's fine by us. Legislator, Unholy Heat to Fairy. Another Mish's Bubble. We see Ether Spell Bomb as well. Getting pretty fortunate that this stuff isn't in our opponent's hand. Alright, so now they've found Mox Amber, so they can start floating mana and bring it back from the graveyard. I think this is the lock now. I'm not super familiar with the deck, so I'll let them play it out. But I'm assuming they can mill the rest of their deck and then just cast Thassa's Oracle. They've already got the mana floating. Main deck, Haywire might as well. Okay, that's good information. Alright, so that looks well and truly locked out, so let's go ahead and concede. Alright, so sideboard interaction for our opponent includes Engineered Explosives, Prismatic Ending, Shadow Spear, I suppose, as well. Spell Pierce, Teferi, Wear Tear, so basically we just want to race as best as we can. Something like Damping Spear would be very good here. I think our Chalice is on 0 are actually fine, because that should destroy their combo. We could also Force of Vigor in response, blowing up the Underworld Breach, which would work fine because they play it at sorcery speed. So what do we reckon? 2 Force, 3 Chalice, or 2 and 2 split? This is probably what we're looking at, like boarding out, so I guess that's fine. Maybe Force is slightly better than Chalice, so 3-2 split. Yeah, alright, let's go for that. Just because Force doesn't get like blown up, does it? Alright, we'll keep this. If we play Chalice on 0, our opponent could, you know, blow it up with their Wear Tears or exile it with Prismatic Ending, etc. Haywire might. If that's the case, there might actually be an argument for all 4 Force of Vigors to come in and to leave Chalice in the sideboard. Alright, so conserve a little bit of life here. It's not how they beat us in most games, though. They could technically win it with Legislator and Ragavan, right? We'll go ahead and attack for 4. So opponent takes, cracks in the end step. Sacred Foundry in tapped. No, in shocked? Or did that just like buffer through? No, it had to come in tapped. That looked to me like it just came in untapped the whole way through. That's pretty funky. Alright, there's a Saga this time for the opponent. Prismatic Ending on Rancor. That didn't take too long. And they could have like a big turn where they Underworld Breach and then just use Prismatic Ending from the graveyard to continually interact with us. Play that, play that. And attack for 5. Hopefully they haven't got any other effects that they can 2 for 1 us with. God, I am slurring my words like anything. Saga on 2. Opponent plays Otawara, 6 in hand. We see Legislator. That's okay. Mox Amber. Connive Trigger. Unholy Heat to the grave. Alright, that's not too bad. God, our draws haven't been anything special though, have they? Holy smokes. Another Daybreak. I guess we'll take that. That's pretty good. It's an attack for 8. I Guess we throw away Scout here. It's only really good into engineered explosives. If they want to take the block and go to 2, they can. Looks like they just block the big one and we get 1 damage through. Alright, now here is Urza Saga. Opponent makes a construct. They can potentially get Shadow Spear, but they'd need Unholy Hit plus Lightning Bolt to take out our guy. Could definitely happen though, but they are currently tapped out. We just want to see like an evasive effect, right, to attack on through. Haywire Might with the... Yeah, Mox Amber's an annoying one there. Alright, we'll go ahead and attack for 8. Opponent blocks. In response, I guess they'll blow up a Daybreak. Breeding Pool, Shocked, activate. And they are going after Daybreak, okay. We should definitely hold on to Floofy Paws. We don't want to run it into like a Lightning Bolt type effect. Another Haywire Might from the opponent. My god, this card is everywhere. Be interesting to see if they know the interaction this time. What shit draws we've had this match. Oh my god. And we're down a game as well, so that's not very helpful. Hopefully they blow up the Daybreak Coronet. Sentinel's Eyes goes to the graveyard off of the block. The correct interaction is destroy Sentinel's Eyes and Daybreak Coronet will fall off. Yeah, I'm fine dealing damage in this order. What do they know this deck? Not well enough, thankfully. That does give us an out now. We can rebuild from the graveyard. And here we just gotta go for Totem Armor, right? Alright, pass turn. Us removing the construct token there was nice as well. We're threatening a kill next turn off the back of any aura. Expressive Iteration for our opponent. Wow, that's a pretty damn good find opponent. Not too shabby. We've taken out our 2-mana auras as well, haven't we? Yeah, both All That Glitters and Spirit Mantle are on the board. I think Audacity here is fine. For opponent, it like pops the explosives early. That's okay as well. With this, we can get Rancor and we'll get like the active off Rancor, which is just as good, plus the card draw from the Audacity, which will be helpful. Has opponent got a counterspell here or a burn effect or something? What's going on? So Unholy Heat, Totem Armor. Audacity resolves, interestingly enough. Here we go for Rancor and attack. Opponent's likely to pop the engineered explosives using the Mox Amber there. Looks like they choose not to. That's kind of interesting. They're down to 2 cards in hand, 1 life. So they just get a tapped land there. Or fail to find, maybe. I'm not sure what happened. Emery can return Haywire Might, which is a bit of a nuisance. Thassa's Oracle from the opponent, so looking to play out a blocker here. They currently don't have green mana off of anything. Interesting. We break on our draw. That's also interesting. Go ahead and attack. I guess our opponent's going to double block, blow up engineered explosives, and hope that's good enough to get us. Find another Sentinel's Eyes. Well, our rebuild will be pretty good on the Bogle. Killing Embry seems more important to me here. Play this guy. Make sure we resolve our Rancor. I think we can hold off on our Sentinel's Eyes in case we draw another Floofy Paws off the top. Is there a world where we need to play it out? Shadowsphere plus Burn Effect just like beats us there anyway, so I think this is fine. Opponent plays a Grinding Station, 1 card in hand. Underworld Breach, are you kidding me? So I think they can resolve Engineered Explosives on 0 continuously until they hit their mana sources, but they can't really beat us because Thassa's Oracle is here, so the best they can do is interact with our Rancor, I think. Opponent gets back Emery. So we see Misha's Bobble in the graveyard now. They should be able to generate extra blue mana and maybe blow up an Engineered Explosives. This still doesn't win our opponent the match though. So Mox Amber from the grave. See another Explosives into the grave there, Mox Amber. Grinding Station active. So you can see a Teferi in the grave as well. I guess I should probably pull up Exile too. Yes, if our opponent has a second copy of Thassa's Oracle, they can be in a good spot, but they had to play that to block. This list only has 1. Yeah, I've checked like 3 lists and they all seem to run 1 Thassa's Oracle. I guess if they could somehow generate red mana, they could like Unholy Heat their own Thassa's Oracle, replay it from the graveyard, but they might have to hit another Springleaf Drum to do that, which may or may not be in the deck. This list only has 1 Springleaf Drum in the deck. I will say our opponent's deck would be so much more powerful if these Mox Ambers were Mox Opals instead. That would be truly be a terrifying world to live in. Oh wait, they Ether Spellbombed to return it. Alright, so that makes sense. They get the victory there. That was really close. 1 damage off killing them. I feel like we bricked on a few draws as well. Alright, here we are for the 5th and final match. Won the die roll again versus Nuka-Cola. So we mulligan to this. I mean, this is like potentially good. I'd probably prefer a hand like this on the draw. It has a potential win against Tron though if we draw land, aura. If this is Tron, I think it's a good keep. And on the basis of us running into a few Tron decks this league, I'm going to assume that it's a popular choice after winning a PTQ or something. Alright, looks like we're wrong. Opponent with Blood Crypt Ragavan. That's kind of gross. Play out our guy, hope she lives. Alright, so Steam Vents means this is possibly a shadow deck. I guess Floofy is just going to eat a kill spell. She does. So we need to hit land off the top so we can go Floofy plus Umbra. Opponent takes away a non-land card. I'm happy with that. I think them casting Rancor is fine. I'm not happy with that. That's garbage, man. We really needed to hit our land drop. Now we have to hope they don't have another burn spell. This is Expressive Iteration. Just Lightning Bolt. Okay, yeah. I don't know why you didn't lead on that instead of tapping 2 different lands. So we can still win off like top decking a Bogle, resolving Ethereal Armor, blocking out this guy, and then resolving our auras. That's still quite possible. No Delirium yet for our opponent. Ethereal Armor off the top. Alright, well, it's not a hexproof creature, so that helps us a little bit. Alright, surely they don't have the 3rd Lightning Bolt. Drown in the lock now? We're just getting fucking swagged on right now, dude. Alright, so opponent attacking for a lot now. think that's pretty much over. Yeah. that really sucks, man. Against Tron, we probably would have been fine. Alright, so whether or not our opponent's on a Shadow deck or not, they are on a Thoughtseize deck, and Leyline of Sanctity is going to be pretty important. Isidju, Hijitsugu can potentially be quite annoying for us. I think like 2 to 3 Floofy Paws out, and then we decide on other effects. Let's go like 2 Floofy out, 2 Audacity. Audacity is really bad if our opponent hits it on Ragavan, because if they play it on their Ragavan, they'll get the card draw. There's potential for us to run into a Blood Moon, but I don't think so. I think their deck's too greedy on its own mana. Well, this is about as great as our first hand. We knew how that went. At least our first hand had multiple creatures. Finally, a keepable hand, albeit a painful one. Ditch. Our opponent's deck's likely to have Dress Down right. If not in the main, then in the sideboard. I think Shadow would still have issues with Hammer Time, so... Alright, so a few Mish's Bobble triggers for our opponent there. We hit a land drop. Yeah, that's enough land drops for the game, thank you, deck. All action from this point forth. It's quite likely we're running into a Shadow, although they didn't fetch shock the Blood Crypt, so maybe not. Ragavan, are they just like bricked out on mana and we get tempo on them? It's very nice. We're pretty fortunate that being the case. I think we want to attack here, although it's not great. The opponent can remove our Totem Armor and then like dress down Unholy Heat, which sucks. We just need to be aggressive though. It's pretty important. Alright, so opponent shocked in a Steam Vents now. No creature played. I guess this means Drown in the Lock again. Let's crack this one. Temple Garden should do fine. Wow, our draws, man. Our draws have been something else. I feel like we're getting like the middle finger this league. This is crazy, man. Alright, well, attack him down to 7. Dress down in our end step. Well, we know what that means. That's terrifying. So Bogles still doesn't have hexproof. Lightning Bolt comes down to ruin our day. Hopefully our opponent taps out. We draw like a Floofy Paws and get good protection on it. I don't like any of this. My hand is so trash right now. End step crack, Watery Grave, in tapped, 5 in hand. Ragavan on dash. Watch him take one of our creatures now. Ethereal Armor. Oh, that's okay. Alright, so, creature. That is a creature. We still... we still don't have access to... Are you kidding me? Drown in the Lock, man? Get fucked, opponent. I was going to say we still didn't have Totem Armor, but it doesn't matter because every last spell our opponent has played is lined up perfectly with our deck. Our draws have also been super abysmal here. We've drawn 0 auras this whole time. I guess that's Rancor to the grave at this point. And yeah, like this is just abysmal. They have not played well, I guess they played one creature, which was a Ragavan, but they've just played complete control and that's it. Ragavan from them. All right. Hold the phone. If they have one removal spell, we can have 2 creatures. That's definitely worth going for here. Opponent attacks. Yeah, I'll block with my Dried Arbor. Unholy Heat there. I guess we can't block now because of Dress Down, Terminate. All right, just all the removal. Makes sense, doesn't it? Daybreak Coroner off the top. Maybe we hit a creature. This has to be like the most unlikely sequence, right? It's not just me being a little bit salty. They're like hitting runner auras off the top and we still can't hit a creature. Underworld Breach from the grave? Jesus, man. What do you need that card for? So Misha's Bobble burns us and I guess burns us again. I don't think Underworld Breach is good. Like, I know it's won the match for our opponent here, but our, like, terrible draws won it for them way before that, right? Alright, well, GG's opponent. And hits us for Grixis. Alright, so 2 and 3, not the best result with the deck, obviously, not the worst. I feel like we had a lot of spots where we could have won a lot of those matches and didn't. Against Grinding Station, we returned too slow both matches. Against, was it, I think it was this match, we got stuck on crappy lands. Like, there were multiple times where we just, like, didn't draw the right cards and we were losing to our own inconsistencies rather than what our opponent was doing. That is definitely something you sign up for when you play Bogles, though, so you have to expect that that's going to happen every now and then just take the good times when they happen. So thanks everyone very much for watching. The deck's still in an awesome place, even if we're losing to ourselves a little bit. And hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.